Okay, moving on to physical distance. Physical distance also has meaning. It's not just to avoid COVID-19 from spreading, but physical distance is very important. What is considered proper spacing between people largely depend on the cultural norm. So this also physical distance is not only for the health, but also for cultural norms. The purpose of depends on the culture. For example, a business like distance in some European countries may feel intimate in many parts of the North America or many parts in the other part of the world. So distance may indicate aggressiveness or sexual interest, like for example, if you go to certain countries in in the Europe, for example, in France, or for compared to certain parts of the world, they tend to kiss on the cheek, and it's also consider men between men and men, or female and male, or from it's kind of cultural, or is the physical distance can be cultural, due to culture, can also be due to business, like for example businessmen in America behave differently in terms of physical distance in compared to the Middle East and so on. So distance may signal these interests. This is very obvious, isn't it? Even though it's not really in the business, if you distance yourself from other people, does not mean that may also means that you dislike someone, or you disinterest with someone, or displeasure with what has been said. For example, when you go to listen to a forums or to a talks, if you are interested with the topic, you tend to sit at the front. If you are not really interested, you tend to sit at the back, or because it's easy for you to go out from that place. So distance may have different meanings. It's not just currently to avoid some outbreak of the virus, but it's also can be in terms of other meanings, such as showing interest, showing sexual interest. If you like someone, you tend to get close to that person. If you are feeling displeasure, if too close in terms of contact, you tend to separate yourself or move away from becoming too close with the person that you dislike. And channel, when we talk about channel, channel can also convey some informations, because also have some characteristics. So channel differ in their capacity to convey information. So depend on the channel. Some channel are quite rich in conveying the information. Some channel are quite has some limitation in conveying the information. So some are rich in that they have the ability to handle multiple cues simultaneously. That means they could receive many information at the same time. They also can send some information through the cues at the same times. Also can facilitate rapid feedbacks and can be very personal. So face-to-face conversation score highest in terms of channel richness, because it transmits the most information per communication episode. So one of the channel of communication is face-to-face communication. Face-to-face communication is considered the highest in terms of channel richness of information that being sent to the audience. So face-to-face conversations can transmit most informations for communication episodes, and also can use multiple information cues. For example, not only in terms of meaning of the orally meaning of the informations, but also from expressions, facial expression, from intonations, and from movements, body movement, hand gesture, and so on. You can receive many information cues just having face-to-face conversation with someone. So multiple cues here mentioned, such as word postures, facial expression, gesture, intonation, and also can provide feedback. For example, if you disagree, you can just snap or interrupt, for example, or you just raise your hand to ask questions. Can be both non-verbal and verbal, like raise your hand to ask questions, or showing your expressions. If you, for example, if you don't understand, you tend to frown, you tend to like do some things that to show that you actually do not understand, or hard to digest the informations, or hard to believe the informations. And also the personal touch of being present. That's also one of the cues. You can touch the persons, you can go and communicate, you can check, and you can give a feedback directly. So others are lean in that they are scored low. That's mean lean. That's mean it's the opposite of rich. So some channel are very rich in sending the information. Some channel are very low. That's mean very lean or very poor in sending the informations. So they score low on this factor. So impersonal written media such as formal reports and bulletins, example of lowest in the richness of information that can be conveyed, because written informations can only shown based on what you wrote on the paper. It doesn't have any intonations, it doesn't have any facial expression, it doesn't have any cues apart from the written forms. So that's what it says based on where it says when we talk about richness of informations. So here is the channel richness. You can see here the highest channel richness. This is the lowest channel richness. The highest in term of the example of highest channel richness is through face-to-face conversations. If online is video conference, because video conference acts like a face-to-face, can directly get the informations, can ask questions, receive the feedback directly. Is only not in the same place, but can be in different places, but they have the same cues as face-to-face conversations. And the least or the lowest one is formal writtens or memo, because this channel do not have facial expressions, intonations, gesture, and so on. That's why it situated at the lowest region of the channel. So the choice of channels that you may choose depend on whether the message is routine or unroutine. So routine message tend to be straightforward. Routine message means you are doing every day. You are routinely doing every day. Unroutine is not common. Routine more or less is like a commons every day that you send a message. So routine message can be straightforward and have minimum ambiguity. That means it's very clear. Non-routine message can be complicated and have potential for misunderstanding, because non-routine, you are not really familiar message, so can be potential for misunderstanding and complicated. So routine message can efficiently be communicated through channels that are lower in richness. So routine message, because they are easily understood and straightforward, so you do not have to send through face-to-face or channel that have high in richness, but can be sent through lower in richness, so our audience still be able to understand the message. Non-routine message, in order to be effective, should be sent through rich channel, because it's very difficult, or is considered difficult to understand non-routine message. So it should be sent through through channel that have the highest richness, because it can have a direct feedback, can also have understood from different different cues, so could help in understanding the message more compared if using the channel that low in richness. So choose oral message when you need to gauge the receiver receptivity. So if let's say you want to know whether the receiver is actually receptive to your message, use the oral communications. And you can use a written communication if you want your message to send and to be considered more reliable, and if you have more complex and if you have lengthy message to send, so you can use written communication. Because if you use oral communications, maybe the important point will be distorted, because the sender tend to forget if it is the communications or the point is long, or the message are length in long or lengthy. So it is depends. So use oral communications is you want to gauge the receiver receptivity of feedback straight away. Use written communication, it is because it is more reliable, it is black and white, and is suitable for the complex and lengthy communications. So know your audience and use good grammar. Of course, good grammar is very important, especially in written communications, such as letters, text messaging, social media, and blogging. So sometimes people can just comment about your grammars just on social media, like for example your Facebook. Some people, if they want to write in English, those who are well versed in English can comment, can criticize your grammars if you write wrongly in terms of grammars. Letters are actually used in business and primarily for networking purpose. Why we use letters? Because letters is good for networking, just to send just to keep in contact, officially or unofficially can be sent through letters, or to get the signature. Sometimes they say easy to send through email or other things, but actually letters, the most important part of why people still using letters, because it's easy, and also it need a signature, easy, you just sign it. Sometimes people can use digital signature. It's different from the authentic signature. So some company, they want the authentic signatures. So to the most important form to getting authentic signatures is using letters. And also to respond to instant message, if you want to communicate with others, for example, you can use instant message. You also can respond to instant messages only when those who send the messages are considered professional, and they initiate when you know, or you can initiate, that means you can start send instant messages if you know that you will be welcome. Sometimes when you send the instant message, they didn't welcome you, or didn't want to read, or not in the place to read the messages, then it will be waste, because instant messages need to be opened at that moment. If you open letter, that means the message will be deleted or removed. Depend on the channel that you use. So significant gains and challenges from introducing text messages in business. Text messages, as you all know, is very cheap and to receive. Then willingness to be able to quick communications. So just small informations. But now people using WhatsApp, no more instant messages or SMS. So I think WhatsApp is more is better compared to instant message or SMS, text messaging. But some people still using it. So however, some user view text message are intrusive and distracting. Of course, if you it depends on people. Some people can consider is intrusive and distracting, because receiving message can be distracting as well. And many organizations are concerned about security of texting, because text messages can be used as a evidence in the courts. So be careful. Even the WhatsApps or text messages can be used as a evidence in the court. So company are concerned about security of texting, because it can be used by others to be used in the court. It's best to severely limit the personal message, especially during working hours. Some company, they will limit the use of text messages among their employees, and they be cautious about using the text message for business purposes. So that's the issues regarding the challenge of using text messaging in business setting.